Alright, here is another weekend project that my boys and I were working on. And what this is a little model we threw together of what's known as a stirling engine. And if you're not familiar with a stirling engine, what it is it's an engine, an external combustion engine, that runs off of expansion and contraction of oxygen, other gases as well. But there's no internal flame or anything like that, like on an internal combustion engine. But basically, there's a little cam up here at the top, the crank, and you can see that the diaphragm piston on this left side over here, it's about 90 degrees advanced compared to this one here. And this is attached to what's called a diffuser inside. And basically, this is just a tin can, and there's a little piston I built inside there that fits really loosely inside the can, and its job basically is just to transfer the air that's inside here from the hot side. You'll apply heat to the bottom of this can, so it transfers that air from the hot side to the cold side. And you can see that I've got ice cubes sitting up here to keep this cold. It runs without them, it runs better with them. But basically, it transfers, you heat the air up, it expands through this tube and pushes up on the little diaphragm over here, which in turn turns the crank. There, it's down. So there the crank goes up, and you can see right now the diffuser piston is all the way up. And then it starts on its downstroke to move the hot air to the cold side. So it's just basically a transfer of hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold, and that air expands and contracts and expands and contracts, and it moves this diaphragm up and down to turn the propeller. Surprisingly enough, I didn't think this propeller was going to work, just because there's really not a lot of flywheel weight to keep the cycle going, but it does work. I've seen a lot of people, instead of using like a diaphragm over here, they actually built like a little decent fitting piston. But there's plenty of tutorials online if you want to learn how to build it. I watched a couple and then took a stab at it. I didn't really build any kind of, I didn't order any plans or anything. I just drew up a rough prototype of how I kind of thought they worked, and me and the boys got to building one. So, we'll set down the camera, fire it up. Now, this can work off basically any sort of heat source you can come up with. I just use a little propane torch. We'll fire this up. You can see the flame. And we will apply heat to the bottom of the can down here. As the bottom of that can gets hot, it will expand the gas, the oxygen inside. We'll try to give it a spin, see if we're ready. There it is. So that is a stirling engine in action. It uses, no fuel per se. It just runs off of heat, basically. If you can come up with a heat source, the engine will run. So there it is. There's my boys' weekend project. And, it was trial and error to get it to go. I just took a guess on most of this, I knew that you wanted the diffuser to be 90 degrees advanced compared to your diaphragm. And I made the stroke of the diffuser roughly twice the stroke of my diaphragm. And that's it. He just keeps it going. We'll take the heat away here. And it'll keep running until it runs out of heat. Yeah, right about there. Yep, she's up there. It stopped. And you can see the vacuum that's created inside from the cold air. So, there it is, little weekend project. It's just so cool to see the darn thing run off of nothing but heat. I'll set it up one more time. We'll try to get her going again. So we apply heat to the can again. And give her a spin. There it goes. Pretty neat little thing. So there's my boys and I's weekend project. Please rate and comment.